Hey everyone, how you doing? This video is kind of a continuation of the previous video where I talked about the original Crash Bandicoot on the PS1. You don't particularly need to know about what happened in the first game to understand what's going on here, but just watch the video anyway. Please. I'll give you a biscuit. Yo, alright lads, Dan here, welcome back to a brand new video, and welcome back to my celebration of Crash 4 It's About Time's reveal.
Oh yeah, and that mobile game as well, that looks pretty decent, doesn't it?
So, last time on the show, we talked about the PS1 classic, which is, well, the original Crash Bandicoot, and, you know, after that game, it gave a lot of people thinking, what if they took that original game, took everything that was good about it, made it better, took everything that was bad about it, made it better, and just completely reimagined the formula to make an even better game? Well, if luck would have it, they did! 1 year later! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Crash Bandicoot 2, boys! So then, picture the scene. It's 1996, Crash Bandicoot has launched and is doing pretty well for itself, and everyone loves it. So naturally, the good old team at Naughty Dog just had to create a worthy sequel. They could have just done the same again and it would have been fine. But no, they did one better. They created an entirely new engine, which can render more polygons and animations, essentially more everything. And with this, they were able to take everything that was good about the original game and make it all 10 times better, as just over 1 year later, after the release of Crash Bandicoot, the world was blessed with Crash Bandicoot 2, Cortex Strikes Back. But what's the story of Crash's second outing? Well, it all picks up straight after the events of Crash 1, assuming you actually fought Cortex instead of skipping him with the gem. Cortex falls off of his blimp down to the islands below, where he discovers crystals in a cave. 1 year later, we find him with his new assistant, Engine, aboard the new Cortex Vortex space station, trying to find a way to collect more crystals. But seeing as Crash took out all the Cortex mercenaries in Crash 1, they can't exactly get anyone to do it for them. So he devises a plan. Meanwhile, we find Crash and his sister Coco. Yes, Crash has a sister now. Why? Because Voddy gums, that's why.
Crash? Crash? Crash! My battery is fried. Make yourself useful, big brother, and bring an extra battery for me.
Get it yourself, you lazy b****.
Crash gets taken into a warp room where he's told by Cortex he needs him to gather 25 crystals to help Cortex save the world. Cortex saving the world in a game subtitled Cortex Strikes Back.
Understandable, bye!
This of course leads to yet another adventure to collect all of the crystals to help Cortex contain the planet's energy and stop a series of natural disasters. Bugger off. This involves Crash travelling to many new areas such as forests, sewers, or even space! Oh yeah, and there's the snowy areas as well, but we'll get to that later. Now, as this is a sequel, they've taken all the fundamentals from the first game, those being the different box types, the more linear corridor level design, the Aku Aku hit point system and invincibility, the gems, and all that jazz, and made it much more streamlined and faster paced compared to the main game, making everything a lot more fun and enjoyable, and making the first game look like a bit of a dated mess in comparison, despite the fact it only came out 1 year prior. But that's actually a pretty good thing, because they saw what was bad in the original game and improved those imperfections tenfold to make a really solid sequel. But what has been improved since the last game? Well, for starters, Crash feels a hell of a lot lighter in this game, and it feels less like you're trying to throw a brick. And each of the levels seems more packed with stuff. The corridors are a hell of a lot wider, which means there's more stuff, you know, to fill up all of the empty spaces, which means there's more action, and there's more things to do, which is absolutely fantastic. Something else that's been changed for the better is the method of obtaining the elusive coloured gems. I would have brought them up in the last part, but there really wasn't any point. You just get them like any other gem by not dying while breaking all the boxes. But here in, Coop Banda Crash 2, the sequel-dequel, you actually need to physically find them by completing objectives in the levels, like not breaking any boxes whatsoever in a level, or completing one of the levels that has a timer when you get to a certain point. There's also one where you need to physically find the gem by going through a fake wall that doesn't have any collision, finding a secret portal in a completely different level, or by climbing upstairs made of fake crates that would normally kill you. Just that little extra layer of challenge makes these gems so much more interesting than they were in the original. Crash himself also has a wider moveset in this game. Not only can he do the basics like running, jumping, and spinning, but he can also slide now, which is useful for the new slide-only enemies, which can only be killed this way. He can also high jump by crouching or sliding before a jump, and he can also belly flop, which is used to break these new metal cage crates, which can't be broken by spinning normally. I'm a big fan of this new moveset because it adds a whole new sense of speed and action to the gameplay. Do you want to know the best improvement though? Cortex is now voiced by Mr. Krabs.
Hello, I like money.
So now I think we should probably go into what is entirely new. What's been added to this game as opposed to the old one? Because if we just sat here talking about improvements, looking back at the last game,
We'd be here all week.
So what's new? Well, there's a couple of new box types, like what I mentioned earlier with the new metal cage crates, which can only be destroyed by belly flopping on them. There are also these dangerous new nitro crates, which blow up as soon as you touch them, so you need to avoid them and then hit this green switch box at the end of the levels in order to get rid of all the nitro crates at once. Just remember to not even brush by the nitro crates, otherwise
Skip it up and down.
There's also these new death routes, which are extra pathways in levels unlocked by not dying once on your way over to them. They're always very rewarding though, as there's always a clear gem at the end of them. Naturally though, these sections are a lot harder than doing the stage normally, especially when you have to go over a platform and greeted by a massive horde of no crap. And don't even get me started on the f***ing cold hard crash level with the f***ing ice physics making jumps through f***ing nitro crates multiple f***ing times. It's okay. I'm okay. Oh yeah, and since the events of the first game, the pig from the hog riding stage has got a restraining order against Crash, so he resorts to kidnapping and riding the nearest baby polar bear he can find because
Crash likes them young.
Why did I write that? Oh yeah, and you can also do this. Also, in the last few levels of the game, you get to pilot Crash with a jetpack through space, and it's fine. It's always felt a little bit weird to me. I need to get used to the controls every time I play these stages. They're not bad by any stretch of the imagination, it's just a bit floaty. But the levels are literally in space. What the hell am I expecting? Oh yeah, and Torna is nowhere to be found in this game. Whether that's for better or for worse is anyone's opinion. But most importantly, this game spawned the legendary Crash Dance. What? You want me to do it? Bugger off, I'm not doing it. So with all the new stuff in this game, there's obviously going to be a couple of new bosses, so shall we have a look at them? First off is Ripperoo. Wait, how the hell are you still alive? Last time, I joked about how his name sounds like a Victorian serial killer. Well, now he actually looks like one. I was joking, Naughty Dog. The fight's fairly different from the original game. He jumps around a grid, putting TNT squares in his wake. Just avoid those, then avoid the nitro squares he puts down, and then smack him one. I mean, it's simple enough. It's still better than the original one. Ah, wonderful. A pathetic boss. We can't have a Crash game without one of those. Yeah, the Komodo brothers are just too easy. You wait for one of the bros to be stunned, then you smack him into the other one. This fight is just too easy. And IGN seems to think they're called the Commando brothers. What? Tiny Tiger. He's not tiny, nor I don't think he's a tiger. I mean, he's a pretty fun boss, all about timing your jumps. You jump between small floating platforms, whilst luring Tiny to the flashing red one so he'll fall flat on his bot. Engine's fight is pretty decent, and it's here where you get to see Crash's greatest power. A power greater than any mere mortal can possibly comprehend. Basically, he just makes a Wumpa Fruit appear out of absolutely nowhere. It's a bit weird, isn't it? But yeah, this fight involves materializing Wumpa Fruits and flinging them at Engine's mech, which slowly destroys it. And if you make an evil mech that can be destroyed by throwing fruit at it, you really need to reconsider what you make your mechs out of. After gathering all the crystals, it comes to a great surprise to us that in fact, Cortex was lying to us this entire time and wants us to collect the crystals for his own diabolical plans. What? As for the Cortex fight itself, oh my god. It's literally the worst fight in the game. It literally involves you chasing Cortex with a jetpack and spinning him when you get in too close. He doesn't even try to hit you back. For a game titled Cortex Strikes Back, you don't exactly do a lot of striking back, do you hammer-headed twazzock? The fight lasts about 2 minutes, Cortex is defeated, you collect all the box gems, and then with the help of Fetus Man, you use a laser to blow up the Cortex Vortex, and that's how it ends. So, in conclusion, I can probably say that Crash 2 is so much better than the original. In every single way, it improves on it massively. In fact, you don't even really need to play the first one to enjoy the second one as much as, well, anyone else does. And I can see why people think that Crash 2 is the best Crash game, but for me, that title will always be Crash 3. But we'll cover that next time. What? Oh my god. Okay, fine, I'll do the bloody Crash dance. Jesus, wet. Oh. Well, that was the most embarrassing thing I've ever done in my life, but YouTube laws require that if you make a video on Crash Bandicoot, specifically Crash Bandicoot 2, you need to do that, so I'm clear.
No one's gonna shoot me today.
But yeah, that was Crash Bandicoot 2, Cortex Strikes Back. Yes, this game is so much better than the original, it is absolutely fantastic. And as I've said before, you don't even really need to play the first one to get into this one, but just play all of them. They're all really good. But yeah, that's all I got left for today, so I want to thank you all so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy, be sure to leave a like, drop a comment, and subscribe for more videos in the near future. And next time, we're going to be talking about Crash 3 Warped, so look forward to that. And, well, that's all I got. So I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video, man. Take care.